Hi, welcome to High Growth with HTDC. I'm your host, Cindy Matsuki, and HTDC stands for High Technology Development Corporation. We're the state agency that supports technology, innovation, entrepreneurship, and manufacturing. So those are the topics that we cover on this program. First off, I'd like to make some announcements before we meet our awesome guests today. To let you know, tomorrow, March 26th, is Wetware Wednesday. This is our monthly software developer networking event. This is going to be our first morning Wetware Wednesday. Usually it's in the evening after work, but tomorrow's is going to be from 7:30 to 9:30 at the Microsoft store, because we had to do it before they opened the store. So if you can drag yourselves out of bed tomorrow, we'll have the whole store to ourselves. So come on down, Microsoft Store, Ala Moana, 7:30 to 9:30. This month and next month, the Manoa Innovation Center will be hosting the UH Law School Spring 2014 Small Business Law Clinic in partnership with SBDC. So if you sign up, you'll get 45 minutes of free legal advice. If you're interested, check out our website, htdc.org/clinic. Also, save the date. Saturday, April 26th is HTDC's Tech Fun Fair at Kahala Mall. This is a free event for the whole family where we're going to showcase STEM events from K to 12 all the way into careers in STEM. STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. We're going to have some school programs there, university programs, all the way up to tech companies. And they'll all be showcasing hands-on activities. So save the date, Saturday, April 26th. I'd also like to call out to any SBIR Phase 1 winners. HTDC offers the state's matching grant for up to 50% of your Phase 1 award. So if that's you and you recently won a Phase 1 SBIR, please contact us at sbir@htdc.org. So I wanted to introduce our guests today. They're both from LiveAction. We have John Smith, CTO and Vice President, and we also have Ray Hadulco, Director of Marketing and Communications. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us. Yeah, thanks for having us. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I'm so excited. And you guys have just recently changed your name.
Right. Yes.
You guys used to be...
February 3rd.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just a little over a month away ago we did that.
Great. And you were action-packed before, right? And
Yes.
I think you guys are an awesome dual-use success story, which is we kind of have a pretty good dual-use community, but not enough success stories.
Right.
So I think you guys are a great success story. So maybe let's go over what is LiveAction.
Right. Just on that dual use case, you're talking about that silver matching fund. So we actually did that, and we won a couple of silvers, and we actually had matching funds from HCDB. So that actually helped us with some of the development early on.
Great.
Yeah, it's really good.
That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah.
So what is LiveAction?
So LiveAction is a network management tool, and our motto is see, point, click, fix. And basically when people have networks, they're running applications, and they want to fix the issues that these applications see in the network. So we sell to major corporations. Some of our customers are like the largest banks in the world, largest law firms. So for them, when they run applications like telepresence, where they do video across the world, I mean, it's so critical that they need application software like ours to make sure that the network quality works fine. There's nothing wrong with the applications and the video. So that's kind of what we do is, we allow the people to, understand what's happening in the network, and then we fix the issues for them.
Right. Yeah, what's really innovative is the visual quality of what we provide. The analogy I use sometimes is the innovation from DOS to Windows, where it was more kind of a command line, and now with LiveAction, folks are able to see what is happening on their network. So it really saves time, saves money, identifying any issues that can be resolved quickly. So that's a real key issue of what LiveAction provides.
So versus looking through lines and lines of code.
Right, so there's so much data coming from the network, and you hear about Internet of Things, and everything's connected to the network. It's people are getting overloaded with so much data. So they use our tool to visually understand what's going on, and once they understand, they can actually fix issues. So that's our whole proposition is, gather all this data, make it understandable, and then actually fix issues.
So we have some visuals, so maybe you can kind of talk to those.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll pull up one of those images.
So yeah, what you're seeing is your actual network, and it's kind of interesting. Whenever we deploy our tool into a customer's network, they realize something they've never seen before, and it's because it maps to the way they think about the network. So
But they've never actually seen it put in
this
front of
manner.
them.
Right.
Oh, that's so interesting.
We work very closely with Cisco, and we're a Cisco development partner. But I've done demos with Cisco where they don't even realize that this is on a real network using Cisco gear. They think it's like a simulation. So I got to explain to them that this is what your network actually looks like. So you can imagine all our customers, they're paying a lot of money for Cisco gear.
Yeah.
And there's all this capability and all this visualization that you could do, but they can't because they don't have the tools. So that's what we provide. So we really do work closely with Cisco. Although a lot of our visualization works with other vendors as well, but we do have a very strong partnership with Cisco.
Wow.
Yeah, and the attention to react to these types of incidents within the network, I'm kind of thinking about along the lines of, not like ours is a security system, but along the lines of security. If you had an incident at a home and someone would call in, then the police would probably know where that is, right? Whereas opposed to a security system can identify an incident and they can immediately know where that is. So that's the difference, right? Is the immediacy with the visualness of it.
Oh, so like if your network's getting hacked, is that what you're saying? Kind of like security-wise, or?
Well, we work more with application performance. So actually the network is getting smarter, and the infrastructure is able to tell you where the problem is.
Wow.
It's just that there hasn't been software to grab all this data, so we actually grab it and tell you exactly where that point is. And all the corporations are going to this cloud mobile model where Salesforce.com or Google Docs or Office 365. So they're running so much applications in the cloud that their infrastructure becomes critical to make sure that they understand what the application performance is, because they can't run their day-to-day business. So what we do is we analyze all that data that's coming in and tell you exactly where that problem is.
Wow, that's amazing. I don't know if did you want to show any of the other graphics?
Sure,
Would that help?
if you have others up.
So getting a little bit more technical, but what's happening in the industry is there's this thing called software-defined networking, and everything's becoming more controllable. But one of the things the network is producing more and more is data, and this is actually showing something called NetFlow. It's a little bit technical, but basically it's a mechanism to export a lot more data out of the networks, and we've kind of perfected a way to gather this at large scale. So our customers are multinational corporations. They have millions of customers. So the data that they throw at our tool is pretty massive. So we built the industry-leading capability in being able to absorb all this data, and then we pair it up with the visualization. So it's a pretty unique offering for network management.
So for example, I don't know if you can explain how big this network is that we're seeing.
Well, actually, this is 2 routers, so it's pretty small.
Okay.
But our users have tens of thousands of devices, so you can zoom out, zoom in. But the interesting thing is when you actually fix a problem, you have to get down to this level of understanding.
Wow.
You have to get down to exactly which interface, which flow. So we provide that. So a lot of the tools out there get so granular, aggregated that they lose all this granularity and they can't understand what they're fixing.
And then you have to dig.
Right. But we provide that way to dig easier. We have this capability that looks like Google search. So you can just ask us, for this particular site, for this particular user, show me all the flows. And,
Wow.
Our customers love it.
Wow. That is amazing. And so tell me a little bit about the journey of how LiveAction came to be.
Yeah, so that's a pretty long journey, but it's kind of interesting.
The short of it.
So before LiveAction, I worked for a company called Referential, which is a defense contractor. And we worked on a lot of different contracts. Actually, the senator's office, Jennifer Sabath, and Senator Inouye was influential in getting us funding for particular types of projects, and that really helped kick off a lot of the early technologies. So one of the first things we did was a project called M2C2, which is this Humvee vehicle working with Marforpac, which is up in PACOM. And what they wanted to do was quality of service on these Humvee vehicles, but they had a hard time managing the Cisco router that was on that Humvee. So that's where we came in and we started building software to make that easier. And I think on that contract, Oceanet was on there, and I think Dr. Chung was there. So yeah, we work with all the different defense contractors on site locally as well. So we have this community that's building all this interesting tech. So that's where we got started, and from there we got other military contracts, and we slowly built out our technology. So that took a good 5-7 years to do.
Wow.
Yeah. So from that we commercialized it, and we kind of realized that there's a market for this. But we spent a lot of time trying it out in different military exercises. So I've gone on exercises in South Korea with the Marines up here.
Wow.
So we tested out like the quality of service aspects of it. So I spent a short winter in South Korea
Oh my gosh.
working with those guys, and then we did other exercises up at Schofield Barracks, for example. Making sure the networks from here back to Australia, where we're doing exercises, work properly. So it's been field tested with the military.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
That is a good way to test. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. This is High Growth with HTDC. I'm your host, Cindy Matsuki, and my guests today are John Smith and Ray Hadulco of LiveAction, and we'll be right back.
I'm Jay Fidel. That's Sharon Moriwaki of the Hawaii Energy Policy Forum. And every Wednesday we have Hawaii, the State of Clean Energy. We've been doing it for some time now, and we have some fantastic guests on there, unbelievable guests who give us insight into what is going on in a very complex, sometimes very confusing, sometimes very disappointing area of progress in the state. So we love doing this. We love meeting them. We love talking to them. We love having their ideas out on the table. So maybe, just maybe, we can all make some sense of what's going on. Sharon, what do you think?
I think that's absolutely correct. We enjoy ourselves meeting with all these people and hearing about the energy and the state of clean energy, and hopefully we advance clean energy for the state. So it's terrific. Join us. Come
Okay,
join
it's
us.
every Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday is Energy Day. Every
Energy
Wednesday,
Wednesday.
4 to 5 p.m. Hawaii, the State of Clean Energy, here on ThinkTech Hawaii.
Energy
We'll see you
Wednesday.
there.
Hi, welcome back. This is High Growth with HTDC. I'm your host, Cindy Matsuki, and we're on ThinkTech Hawaii. My guests today are John Smith and Ray Hadulco of LiveAction. And I was just asking about some of your federal projects were SBIR projects.
Right.
And so I know the goal of SBIR is to actually commercialize. So while you were doing those projects, did you have actually this product in mind?
Yeah, definitely. So I think we had one with the Department of Energy, one with the Navy and Army. So they all have similar problems like the commercial world has, being able to manage these massive networks. And actually, when you look at the military, managing military networks is much harder because they have prioritization changes. The bandwidth is limited, and out there in the field, I mean, they're moving so much that you got to have tools that are very easy to use. So we've always had it in mind as we did all these different technologies. How are we going to commercialize it? So, and it's also good, effective use of taxpayer money. So.
That's great. And I heard part of it was, I think one of the breakthroughs was that you had to make it super simple.
Yeah, so it's actually very interesting. Like, I had this one exercise I went through, and we did our tool to make it much more visual, and I gave it to the staff sergeant, one of the Marines, and I gave him about 30 minutes of training to see how much he would absorb. And so the next day I would come and check up on him, and he's there yelling at people, and I asked him, why are you yelling at people? And it's because he's got the whole network mapped out exactly how it's supposed to be, and you can see exactly what these flows are doing to his network. So he was yelling at the corporal that was doing some kind of YouTube or something, and it was just blowing up his network. So with 30 minutes of training, he figured it out. So we kind of realized the visualization was pretty useful, and a staff sergeant, like a 20-year-old, could figure it out in 30 minutes.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So we knew we were onto something good.
Yeah, because usually you have to be like a network engineer to understand.
Right.
That is amazing.
And it's kind of interesting with our customers, it's a pretty easy sell once they see the tool. The hardest part is just getting in front of the customer. But once they see it and they realize what it can do and what it can visualize, it's a pretty easy sell for us.
Yeah, it's sort of like the field of dreams, right? When the way I look at it from a marketing perspective is like, build it and they will come. But the thing is, they need to find out that it's built first, right?
Exactly.
Right. So technology, and I've seen several of your shows. Technology is alive and well here in Hawaii. And LiveAction is just an example of the success that folks here, they're homegrown engineers.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Developing
smart
this
people in Hawaii,
world-class,
right?
leading edge software. So, you know,
Yeah. What kind of customers are you looking for, say in Hawaii?
well, you know, we're open to all customers. You know, the breadth of our customers range from, you know, SMB, small to medium-sized business, and enterprises. So, you know,
So anybody with a network.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. You know, we're not we focus on enterprise, but then we want to help everyone. You know, we partner with a lot of different companies. One which is Cisco, and you know their segments range from small, from 1 to 2, to you know tens and thousands. So you know, one thing great about LiveAction is that it can scale. Right.
Ah, so as a Cisco partner, does that mean you get built into their customers' systems?
Yeah, so
Is that
there's
how it works?
there's a process to do that, and you know they have this huge reseller networks. Like I think like 60-70% of what Cisco sells is actually through their reseller network. So we're being put onto that network.
Wow.
So that just expands the way we can sell, reach our customers. So it's a really good partnership that we're building.
Yeah, I mean
That's amazing.
it's to be a Cisco developer network partner like we are. The criteria is very stringent to qualify to get to that level. There's got interoperability testing, you know, things like that. So to reach that level is we're proud of that.
Yeah. And did you find that being in Hawaii has either helped or hurt, or has it been not an issue?
I think it helps and hurts in some respects. So, like the majority of our customers are worldwide and in North America. So, from that perspective, you know, it's a little bit harder to reach them. But you know, our corporate office is actually in Palo Alto, and our sales staff is across the U.S. So we kind of compensate for that. It helps in terms of like you know, engineers. You know, we have got engineers that have been with us for like you know. Over 5 years, and it's kind of unheard of. Like if you go to the valley, I mean, you have so much turnover, but we have you know really great engineers that have stuck with our product. You know, they believe in our vision.
That's great.
And without that, you know, we couldn't build this product. So it's actually really good.
And do you think it's Hawaii people? Is that?
I mean, it's kind of there's a lot of misconception out there about you know engineers in Hawaii, and I've seen it at the trade show.
Yeah.
And they don't.
What is the?
So I've had people come up to me and say, "There's engineers in Hawaii." I mean, yes, there's engineers in Hawaii, and you know, actually prior to LiveAction, I worked at Spire and I managed the engineering team there. I mean, they were like world class. We had guys from like MIT, Stanford, Caltech. I mean, they wanted to come back here. There's the smartest guys out there, and you know, they can build the best product. You know, compete with anybody in the valley. So it's pretty amazing.
It is.
That's amazing. I don't know if people still think like we live in the garage packs or what. Like, why wouldn't we have engineers? That's crazy. So, are you guys hiring?
I think we're looking for the right talent. So we always looking for very seasoned engineers. So our product is pretty technical, and you know we program in something called Java, and we do it at every layer of our architecture. So if there's any you know really great Java programmers, yeah, we definitely want to hear from you for sure.
So, what's next? Where's LiveAction headed?
You know, we got a new CEO, Darren Kimura. So he used to be the CEO of Sopoji, and he just brings an incredible amount of experience and industry knowledge, and I think he's going to take us to the next level. So what we're seeing is, you know, getting bigger and more traction with our customers. The customer list is just growing, so it's kind of interesting. I was in Palo Alto the other week, and we were driving down the street, and every other store was one of our customers. I mean, they're really well-known brand customers. So what we want to do is just expand and get more and more of these large enterprises, because you know, they're really you know needing our product. And so definitely expanding our product to be you know more multi-vendor, for example. So you know, some people think of us as too Cisco-centric. We want to be more multi-vendor, doing more of the visual analytics piece as well. So. You know, big data is just everybody's talking about that, and if you apply it to networks, you know, you can gather all this data, but that visual analytics is so critical. And I think a lot of that's driving it is, not only Internet of Things, but everybody's reliance on the network. Like if you cut your network at home or even at work, I mean, you just have people screaming at you all over the place. So it's just a part of everyday life now. And we see ourselves as being the central part of this network. So whenever there's a problem, people start off with the network to triage everything. So we want to be the tool that helps you, no matter what network it is, Cisco or whatever multi-vendor, and be that ubiquitous tool that people reach for.
That's great. That's amazing. Excuse me. I had a question in mind, but now I forget.
One of the things that, kind of, going off of what John said, we send out surveys to our customers to find out what they're looking for, what's missing, things like that. And so I think it's important to let folks know that listen to what others are saying and the customers. That's why, we're developing all these different tools to accommodate different platforms and things like that. So, working in an environment at LiveAction is very inspirational, very motivating. I mean, look at John. John is like rolling up his sleeves and
getting
doing
in there.
stuff. So that's indicative of the folks that work there. They're really dedicated, and so it's a great place to be.
That's great.
I know we're headed in the right direction.
That's good. That's what I was going to ask about. Just how it's improving based on what the customer wants.
Right. Exactly.
Wow, that is so exciting. So if you want more information, visit the website, liveaction.com.
Yes.
Great. And there's a free version, I've heard.
There's a 14-day free trial, full version of
wow.
LiveAction.
Wow.
So
that's great.
download LiveAction at liveaction.com and
check it out.
kick the tires around.
That is awesome. Thank you so much for being on the
Thank you,
show.
Cindy.
Thank you for having us.
This is High Growth with HTDC. I'm your host, Cindy Matsuki, and my guests today have been John Smith and Ray Hadulco of LiveAction on ThinkTech Hawaii. Thank you so much for joining us and supporting our entrepreneur community. We'll see you next time.